Hi, everyone. You know, just in case I forgot that I'm autistic, I get reminded about it once in a while. Um, I don't know, we were out back like a few days ago raking up like leaves and doing bullshit manual labor that I don't like. Um, so in order to keep me motivated, I do a fire in the fire pit because I love the smell of the smoke. And it keeps me motivated to just do work. It's always worked that way. Um, and I had had this going for like, I don't know, I was outside for about an hour. And then Alicia got home from work and she helped out with the rest of it. But like, this fire had been going for maybe about 2 hours before Alicia is sitting there, like, around it. And she goes, I think there's a burn ban. And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Yeah, no, I think there's a burn ban and that we can't do fires in the backyard." And I don't know, I just a switch flipped and I was like, "Okay, bye." And then I ran inside. I ran. And then I looked up on my phone to see if there is a burn ban and there is, but fire pits are allowed. That's not part of the ban. And then I go back outside and she'd already poured water on it, like to put it out. I was like, what the fuck? I was gonna go check it, but yeah, like I basically just leave her to fend for herself. Now I just want to clarify, like if we were ever in a dangerous situation where we're like both of our lives are at risk or something, like I would not just abandon my wife. I would stay there. I really would. Even though I'm running away over a burn pit thing. Like I really would. I would stay. Um But yeah, and then that reminded me of like, what was it, 10 years ago when we moved in here? And it was the first time I had a backyard I actually wanted to do something with. And so we started to Alicia started digging a hole in the middle of the backyard to make a fire pit. And oh my God, I talked about this like forever ago, just in case anybody's like listening in order. And I remember like I heard Janice, my neighbor, she was or landlord at the time. We bought the house now, but like she was our landlord. I heard her come out of her door, her side door, and she's like, "Hey girls." So I knew she was coming over and Alicia was digging a hole and we didn't even ask for permission to dig a hole in the backyard. I'm like very much about following the rules. I mean, I thought you're not supposed to do that shit without asking. And Alicia's like, it's fine. I don't really know how, since she's never rented in her life, that she thought it would be fine. Um, but yeah, like I just ran inside and made Alicia talk to Janice. And then afterward, I came back out, and Alicia's like, she didn't care that I was digging a hole for a fire pit. So, I'm autistic. So I wanted to just get on here and oh, by the way, Alicia's next door pet sitting for them for like a whole week. It has been lovely. I'm like 3 days into freedom. Even though I'm not doing anything fucking different without her here, it just feels nice to have the house to myself. It's just different. But anyways, um my burnout is at an all-time high is what it feels like. And I've done several episodes about it. I don't feel like it's getting any better. Um, and it's a little frustrating because I can't afford to not work. I can't take time off. Um, I mean, that's the goal one day to get there. But, working for yourself has its cons. And, like, not getting, like, to take vacations that are paid or anything like that is one of them. Um, so, like, I'm sitting here thinking yesterday, like, it's so hard to be motivated about some things. And these are things that, like, I usually like. Like when you start the things that you're into, you start getting less excited about. It's either because, like, I don't know, for me, it's usually because I'm worn out. And I realized I haven't really done a whole lot about this burnout. I've just talked about it. Like, and that's not helpful. I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, I have to actually do something about my fucking burnout. And then when I realized I hadn't really been doing much, I started judging myself like, what the fuck? Like, you're supposed to like take care of yourself and blah blah blah. And then I was like, No, no, thank you. I'm not going to continue down this train of thought. Um, so, anyways, I'm just on here in case anybody is like burned out or stressed or like fuck the holidays, man, right? Um, Here's some stuff that like I'm going to start doing. And some of it I already have started doing, but like most of it, I need to start doing this. So I'm going to say it out loud. It's a commitment to this microphone in your ears that I am going to do these things. And I hope you do too, or do similar stuff to kind of just, I don't know, like just unwind, recharge. But anyways, so like I never used to be one for social media until like, I don't know, this year. And now I'm on like many platforms. And I'm actually surprised. Like, I like talking to people if they're autistic. Imagine that. It's lovely. However, once in a while, I get like a hater, um, and by a hater, I mean somebody that just says something cruel, like mean, like stop pretending you're autistic or something. I've gotten stuff like that. And back in the day, I would have sat there and had a fucking war, like battleship, like I'm gonna type this bullshit, you're gonna type bullshit. And like, I don't, no thank you. Like, why did I do that? Sorry about the noise. But like, why did I do that? Because I was an angry person. I didn't know how to deal with my feelings. I was mad at everything. And it's just, it was just not a healthy way to deal with not feeling very well. Or like, well, not well, but you know what I mean. And so this time I'm just simply not saying a damn thing, and I'm blocking them. And I don't feel embarrassed about doing that, and I don't feel bad. Um, Sorry again if you heard that, my mouth sounds or whatever. But like I've heard people say, oh, like if you just delete all the bad comments, like is that really being authentic? But it's not even that. Like, you can't please everybody. I have had comments that I leave on my posts and stuff, about people that disagree with something that I wrote. Like, that's not a problem for me. Like, of course, like disagree, like we're all different. I don't delete those. I delete fuckers who are mean for no reason other than they're miserable. And I'm familiar with what that feeling feels like. So I've had to start blocking people, and it's not like a regular thing, it's like here and there. Um, but to me, like, that's kind of helping with my well being because, like, I don't want to have to sit there and engage in negativity and just waste my time on bullshit. So, if that's not something that you do, maybe do it. Just block people that are mean. You don't have to deal with them. It's not your responsibility. They're not going to see whatever you're trying to make them see because they're just simply looking to start a fight about something. You know what I mean? It's not worth it at all. So, like, if you're somebody that's doing that, like you feel compelled to respond to like a hateful message or whatever, or point out, hey, like that's rude. In my opinion, that's just not worth it because they want a response. They want you to say something, and then that gets them off. And so I don't do it. And I'll bet that like these kinds of people go on and do this like multiple times a day for different people because that's how they get their jollies. And if I block them, they probably aren't even going to remember that they wrote something. You know what I mean? So they can just be miserable without me having to witness it. Um, I talked about my sources of news being very limited, and I see why people do this. I've been that kind of person that like I will watch the news. Like, I'm not stuck to it like for hours. Like, I usually would watch MSNBC like in the evening time. Absolutely every Monday when Rachel Maddow is on. Um, and people, like would question that in the past when like I would mention it, thinking it was normal. Like, oh my God, like I couldn't stop Like the news was on in the background for like hours while I was doing something else because I wanted to be updated. I wanted to know what was going on with different things. And I don't know, like it's just that's how my mind works. Um, and I'm well aware how the news works, where, 99% of the shit that they report on is not good. So, filter or whatever. But, um, yeah, I should have done this a while ago. I should have done this the first 4 years of Evil Dick's reign. So now my news sources are still Rachel Maddow. She better not fucking go anywhere. Um, New York Times, Substack people, and Mary Trump Media. Oh my God. If you already like Mary Trump, go to YouTube. She's got like a thing now that they're doing. And I like it because uh, Rachel Maddow and Mary Trump are disgruntled people when bullshit like this goes on in the country, like the world, yes, but like especially in the divided states. And I like watching like Rachel Maddow has to stay. I'm so sorry I'm talking about this, but I don't know, I feel compelled to. She's professional. She does what she's supposed to do. Mary Trump Media is independent now, so because it looks like our media organizations are getting attacked even before Evil Dick takes control again. And so like I've been watching, I found her channel thing yesterday. I blew through all her videos from after the election because I didn't want to get depressed watching them from before the election. And this bitch is just like she's reporting stuff that's happening and she's swearing and she's being sarcastic and like she's like I don't know how to describe it. I just very much enjoy it. I enjoy listening to a disgruntled person tell me what's going on in the news and how they feel about it. Um does that make sense? Anyways, moving on. Um I do what I want whenever possible. The I guess what I mean by that is like, not spending Thanksgiving with anybody but my wife. I still like I was talking to somebody the other day and they were like, "Oh my God, like we have all these people coming over and I have to make this and this and then when are they gonna leave and blah 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 and like I host every year and it feels like it's always the same." And I was like, "Why do you even bother with this stuff? Who says you have to host? Why do people do things that bring them stress on purpose?" I don't, you know what I mean? Like holidays are supposed to be yay. And then people talk about it's so stressful as if it's happening to you and you can't do something about it. You don't have to have millions of people over to your fucking house. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. The people who love you will understand. You know what I mean? Just don't be crazy. Don't be like doing this shit to yourselves. I'm not saying that you guys are, but just in case you are, like, do whatever you want. Like, if you don't want to have people over, don't have them over. I don't care if you've been doing it for 20 fucking years. It's okay to just stop for a year. See what that feels like. You might like it. And it's way less responsibility because me and Alicia, like, we love our Thanksgiving. Um, we eat the turkey, we eat the foods, we watch like a movie, take a nap. Oh, like that is like the ideal Thanksgiving. It's just nice. It's cozy. And yeah, so I used to go over to my parents' house when I got out of the military and I moved to the States for Thanksgiving. I would go over there and like looking back on it, I never really enjoyed the Thanksgivings with them. It felt like an obligation for me to attend. Her food wasn't even that good anyways. I mean, like I've had Alicia's cooking. I did not know cooking like food could taste better until I met Alicia. Holy shit. But yeah, so like I remember just not wanting to do it. And if I had known back then about my autism, I probably wouldn't have. But that's not the way my life is supposed to unfold, I guess. But do what you want whenever you can. Don't do what you think you're supposed to do or what's expected of you. I already don't do this, but I'm really not going to do this, which is don't answer the door. Did I tell you that I did? I don't remember. I did answer the door last like a couple weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks ago. It was like National Grid. coming to like install some new meter on the side of the house, and they needed to get down to the basement for something. And I don't know why I thought it was Alicia that didn't have her keys and she was just wanting to come in. It was like 2 in the afternoon or something. And so I just went and fucking opened the door, and like there was this person there, and he's like, "Hey," and they're just doing these unannounced visits to people's homes, and I'm like, I couldn't tell him to go away. It was National Grid. So, you know what I mean? Like, as I had this person in my fucking house that I wasn't expecting. Um because I accidentally answered the door. I ain't doing that. And like I've said before, fuck that ring thing where you can see the camera, like you can see people. Like maybe I'll get it someday if like there's crime that starts breaking out, like, houses getting broken into around here or something. But like until then, no, I don't care who's at the fucking door. Um, you could come 3 times that day and then leave, and then I don't know who it was, and I don't give a fuck if it was important enough, you would have left a note or something. So I don't answer the door for nothing. I do not answer phone calls anyways, because usually I don't even understand them. Like I can pick up like words here and there from the other person, but like it's just too anxiety provoking for me. So like I really just do not answer the phone. Um, so yeah. Anyways, and oh, and by the way, this is all coming from somebody that works from home. I know it's probably different for people who, like have to go out into the world and stuff. So like I am aware not all of this is going to be applicable maybe to the people that have to deal with the world on a regular basis. Um Also, I don't respond to ignorance, and what I mean by that is just like just a slight or an offhanded comment or just something, um whether it's I don't know how to, I don't have a good example. Just something ignorant that somebody says in person, like I'm around them and I hear it, or like I read it or something like that, or like it's not worthy of being blocked because they're not being hateful, but they're just a bit dumb, and could need some correcting. I just have decided to stop responding to ignorance because no thank you. It's not my job. Um, I'm not here to sway people or anything like that. If you want to be ignorant, be ignorant. Like, I just again gonna ignore you. And you know what? Oh my God, what freedom there is in doing that. Because I used to think that if I stopped engaging with these kinds of people, like what would that say about me or so? I don't know. That doesn't even make sense. Does it? I don't know. Um I guess what I'm saying is I thought that like I would really like have a problem not talking to these people if I just decided to ignore them. And it's the complete opposite. It is freedom. Freedom. That block button, freedom. Ignoring somebody's dumbass comment, freedom. I just am like I move on with my day. I don't let it bother me anymore. I mean like the hateful stuff does bother me. I'm not going to lie about that. But I also keep my space clean and cozy, and like not that, like you live in your home. It looks like you lived in your home. Things go here, things go there. You need to clean up. I am the kind of person that I just like to have a clean space like all the time. Not OCD or anything like that, but like there's no reason for something to be somewhere it shouldn't. I don't know, like I just I probably even shouldn't have even said that, but I keep my space extra this okay, my talking. Since the election, I have been trying to make sure that like some things I do on a regular basis so that I can maintain some sense of like control and well-being, and like clean spaces, cozy spaces are what make my brain happy. It makes me feel stable. There's nothing worse than working or being in a chaotic environment. Like I don't like that. It makes my brain feel crazy. Like if I've been to people's houses, I'm not judging. I don't prefer to live that way. Like where just things are thrown on the floor, toys are everywhere, like stuff's not put away, and this is like a regular way of living for people. No, that would make me feel stressed out every fucking day, all the time. just being around clutter and like being around things that aren't where they're supposed to be. So I've just been doing a little bit more of that, I guess I should have just said. Like the wax melter, I'm starting to use like daily. I would use it like a few times a week, but now it's daily because I need that smell again. I need anything that is going to make me feel like, you know, okay. Anything that helps with that. Um and music, that's also very grounding for me. I pretty much listen to it all the time. And if I'm not listening to music, I got the TV on with something in the background. But music is like for a lot of autistic people, like we enjoy our music. Like it soothes us, it grounds us. It's just nice. Um, Another thing that like I'm doing to take care of my well-being is embracing like writing because I love it. And for some reason people want to read my shit, which is crazy to me. But when you tell yourself you can't do something, you won't be able to do it. If you tell yourself you can do something, you can do it. That Who the fuck is beeping their horn? Sorry, you probably can't hear that. Um, what did I just say? Oh my god. Uh, that sounds kind of dumb, but like what I mean is, I used to be a writer. Like in school, that's all I did. I was like editor of the newspaper for the school. I wrote, and like I don't know, I liked doing it and then I stopped doing it. I was in the military, I got out, and like I just recently started writing again like this the beginning of this year. And I tapped into how I tapped into like I don't know how to say it. Like how I was when I was younger. And I just told myself, like, like, I can write. I used to be good at it. Like, why am I telling myself that I can't do it? And then it turns out that, like, it is so therapeutic for me because it's just like journaling almost. You just sit down and, like, just here's my thoughts on something. And um, I can put it out in the world, and there's actually people that want to read it. It's so weird. But I feel like I need to do my part in making this like positive community. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. My talking is something. I have to do, I can't just sit in the house and hide. Like, my purpose is to make sure that other people like me, late identified autistic adults, feel seen and heard and valued. Because it sucks not to feel those things. It just sucks. And anytime I see validation in somebody's writing or like when they say something to me, I hold on to that because I went decades without it, without that on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? I didn't have community. That's why I hated people, but now I find out that I like autistic people. It's the regular people, not so much. Not all of them, but most of them. So, um I've just embraced that, and I get hyper focused on that for like a few hours a day. So at least I know that like I'll be sane for a few hours a day because that's all I'll be focusing on. So I guess what I mean is just like do the shit that makes you happy. That makes you feel like you've got a purpose, something. Um be kinder to myself is what I'm trying to do after, I get off of this episode thing. Because I'm starting to judge my inability to coherently speak again. And I even had somebody like point that out to me like a couple days ago. I was like, okay, I gotta stop doing that again. Because I feel like I need to apologize for everything, and so I'm reverting back to that, and I don't want to do that. And then I'm reminding myself how far I've come in life with work, relationships, self awareness, you know, uh, because I'll have a day and it just feels like a shit day. And I find that, like, if I, like, mm, it's usually like I've been feeling shitty for several hours before I finally notice it, that this is how I've been feeling for several hours. Is that alexithymia thing? Um, but anyways, like I'll have had a shit day, finally notice it, and then I immediately like, I'm like, look, this is a bad day, but Where were you 5 years ago? Where were you 10 years ago with like your work and like your mental health and like this and that? You were in much worse, like, you were not doing good, basically. You were not doing good. And like, look at me now. I'm having a shitty day, but I'm still showing up and I'm keeping my shit together. So it's good to remind myself of that because I don't know, it's just good motivation to keep being a to keep becoming a better human. Um so yeah, being more aware when I'm getting stuck in like negative thought patterns too. And then making sure I stay connected with people with the autism community. Who knew? I feel like a social butterfly. I don't even know where that term came from. What butterflies are social? Why are they calling them social? Just because they fly to you? Social butterfly. What the fuck? Anybody want to explain that one to me? Because I'm not going to look it up because that's not something that I care to research. But I talk to lots of you guys, like on Instagram, on Reddit, uh, LinkedIn, Substack. Did I say that? And I like the conversations I'm having. I like the perspectives that people have on different things. And it's just, it goes without saying kind of that, like, when you're with an autistic person, when you're talking with them, anything, you don't have to explain 90% of stuff like you would have to do when you were talking to a regular person. You know what I mean? Like, if you paused, a regular person might think like you're trying to make up a lie about something, but like an autistic person would know that you are just processing. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. It feels so nice not to explain myself and to just talk about real things. And I never thought that like I would have that. I never thought I would want it or enjoy it, but I do. So if you don't have that, or if you want more of it, I highly suggest it because people make things better when you're with the right people. And then I'm gonna start putting myself into lockdown, even though I kind of feel like I already do that most of the time. But like, I started playing around with this like a couple of weeks ago. Like, it's not lockdown, but I really enjoyed lockdown during the pandemic. That was the only thing about the pandemic that was positive for me. Everything about it, else about it was not good. Um, but what I mean is, I don't leave the house. If I need something, it gets delivered. Um, I turn off my phone, which is just nice to do, and I just recharge. And I don't know, like, I kind of feel like I need to be more purposeful with this because like I kind of do this anyways, but I'm doing work all the time. Work, 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 work. And then once I'm done with this, I do this and like I haven't really done fun stuff. Like I haven't colored in like months. I don't know if I've mentioned that. I miss it. My time has just been stretched so thin, and um so I'm realizing that like it's not enough to just, okay, great, I get to stay home and work. I can wake up when I feel like it, go to bed when I feel like it. Like that's all well and good, but I'm still doing the things that are contributing to like burnout, and I'm not being more proactive with like my well-being. So I don't know, like if anybody notices that like maybe you feel similarly in some ways, it's not just you. Maybe do more stuff to make you feel good, because especially if you live in the divided states of America, um this next 4+ years, who the fuck knows how long this is gonna last. um I need all of the good I can get right now, and I need to keep it going. So like my well-being has to come first, because if I keep putting it off, I'm going to turn into that asshole I used to be, and I'm going to be a miserable person. And I don't want that for myself. So I am going to intentionally start setting time aside where I am not doing work of any kind, um, including writing. Even though I find it therapeutic, that still kind of counts as work. So I'm going to try it, get back out of this fucking burnout hole if I can. And if you have any suggestions, please email me. I'm always looking for more things. And I hope this was helpful. Good luck to you if you are spending time with family members this holiday season that are, pretty different from you politically and other ways. Just know that you don't have to spend time with those people if you don't want to. You don't. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.